the game in a direction that takes advantage of that. I would say Zerg is probably the least able to steer the game that way, but even so, like, it's still something that can be done, you know? Like, it's still a very possible thing.
Yeah, that's a fair way of putting it. Well, I don't think it's really worth any discussion about balance, by the way, because I know some people are obviously baiting or looking for excuses to blame a race. But I think when we talk about these very, very high skill level players, we're talking mostly negligible differences. Mostly just like, yeah, okay, this point in time, maybe it's a bit better for this race, but then that point in time, it's better for that one. Or maybe overall, it's a bit better for one race, but not to an extent that I think they're winning games against players that are 500 MMR above them. You know, like, it's not that extreme. Ping just sucks for everyone, kind of end of story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce our first player?
Yeah, we got a best of 5 finals, TvT, a familiar one too. In the bottom left, it is Liquid Clem.
Melem. I can't help myself. And spawning up in the top right, he is the Warrior. He is Big Gabe. It is HeRoMaRinE, representing Mouse Sports. Man, he is... I like I say it every time, but he just continues to impress me in new and enjoyable ways. And, like, in ways that I wouldn't expect to be impressed by Big Gabe. Like, it's pretty awesome to see. I'm excited to see what he can do. I am so sad to hear that, like, he's not going to be full-time for too much longer, but I hope we get to see him, you know, rise to the pinnacle and maybe even win, like, a European event, or even maybe pulls off a crazy run and wins, like, a world event. I think that's a very outside shot, but with what we've seen from him, I don't know. I don't count it out.
He really needs to have quite the correct lineup, though. I mean, he does seem a bit hard stuck, right, against Rainer or Cyril. And he can even sometimes kind of just crumble in a tournament. Like, usually he has a fair record against Clem, but then he got, was it 3-0 to 3-1? The most recent DreamHack. So, yeah, HeRoMaRiNE's not quite there, but it feels like he's getting so much closer to being there. He's so much closer to breaking through just having, quote unquote, just having like really great mechanics or being a very fast player, I think is what he's mostly worked on in these last, year. Is being super fast as well, but he hasn't quite pushed past the point to like whatever star power, miscellaneous vague description we can give to, likes of Clem, Rainer, or Cyril, who do reliably win the European side of things and can be a fair bet to win a season finals. But I feel like if HeRoMaRinE was to play for another year or two, maybe it's inevitable. We won't know though, because he is going part-time. Honestly, I kind of forgot about that. You just reminded me. But yeah, he's going to go part-time eventually.
Yeah, I think with Clem, Rainer, and Cyril, I think the thing is that they're never out of a game. I think that's one of the best ways to put it. By the way, we're going to see an engagement here. A very nice lineup, but really bad engagement to be running into. It was double Reaper production coming out of HeRoMaRinE. That is a big problem for Clem. He's going to have a really tough time holding on. He doesn't even have a Cyclone on the way yet. Yeah,
this is actually really terrible. He basically went for a similar build, but slightly worse. And even though that can help with like Defender's Advantage, he just lost a Reaper and didn't trade out. So his less than good build gets a little less good. It's very, very terrifying type of situation where he could actually lose this TvT because of it. A couple of Reaper grenades actually confuse the heck out of this battle, and it ends up Clem favored. How about that? Well, kind of.
That was so weird. That was like at first I thought the first grenade was actually good. That being said, yeah, HeRoMaRinE is going to survive with a couple of units. He is going to be able to pick off a few SCVs. And, he gets a fresh mule too. Oh, man. That's actually kind of catastrophic. This is a really rough situation.
It is. Good attempt from Clem to try and repair it, but wasn't quite good enough. It could have been so much worse, honestly. It really could have been so much worse. Like, game over. If the SCVs... If that attack wasn't, quote-unquote, defended, if there was, like, 2 Reapers left alive and that Hellion, I do think Clem takes 5, 6, maybe 8, or even 10 SCVs worth of damage, but in this case, a couple extra Reapers do grab 3 more, puts him down by 5 overall. That is the type of recoverable SCV count that TvT is known for. It is nonetheless tough. HeRoMaRinE did get his advantage.
That's a really good way of putting it. TvT is one of those matches where, yeah, it's really nice to have that worker count because it's going to mean a faster third command center. It's going to mean just, HeRoMaRine's generally ahead. Oh, we will see a Raven getting picked off for a Cyclone. That's a great trade for Clem right there. Oh, he's going to be so happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely prefer to keep the Raven alive as opposed to the Cyclone. Both can be very good units in this point of the game right now, but the Raven is going to be good for the next 5 minutes, and hell, if it's kept alive, it can even be good for longer than that. So, much better trade
good
for Clem.
45 minutes.
Yeah, honestly. Usually around like minute 10 to like 20, I feel, like before they go mass Raven, but after Raven tank, the Raven just gets forgotten about or misused, like mismicroed, right? But absolutely, it's always helpful.
Oh, yeah, no, it's always got so much value.
Resubscription
did I lose you?
Apparently,
no, I'm here.
doing something right.
Oh, okay,
Captain.
okay. What do you think about this Viking production out of HeRoMaRinE?
Just a choice, really. It's actually maybe more interesting to talk about that Clem isn't going for Vikings, which is, most typical to this, is that you swap your starport onto a reactor, and I guess he was just waiting because he actually went up to 3 Ravens in total. So he's going to have a 2 Raven advantage. That's actually pretty sick. HeRoMaRine's going to have a bit more microability with the faster Vikings, but I mean, Clem could actually confidently kind of just run into HeRoMaRine's army when he has 3 Ravens worth of auto turrets. Technically 2 right now. His other Raven's just chilling on the Xel'Naga.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. He's got like a tank, 5 Marines, and a Raven. Like those are high value units for this defense. Oh, and I think I don't know if did you see if he scouted with that Marine on the 3rd base timing? I don't think he saw that the base was literally just about to land.
It's a bit awkward, but Clem's already awkward position. His 3rd CC taking a lot of damage. It's still not an orbital either, so it's lost mining time, lost SCV production time, and lost energy building time, actually. Like, a really great time to hit that 3rd command center from HeRoMaRiNE, who has managed to take an advantage just by going unscouted. He just found Clem out of position. Here come the auto turrets like I was talking about, and mass auto turrets absolutely shreds an army like HeRoMaRiNE's. But it actually lives through this. 2 tanks going to be able to evacuate, plus it already did the damage that it wanted to. I mean, HeRoMaRiNE up now 10 workers, 3rd CC on location as an orbital. This is now getting too extreme. Clem has his next attack to make something work, and he does have more units, but it's got to be big.
Yeah. Oh man, I was really hoping we were gonna see Clem like cut off the tanks with the landed Vikings. If he could have done that, that would have really, really made this a devastating and very scary counterattack. As it is, HeRoMaRiNE gets both of those tanks home. It's now 4 tanks to 5. There is a decent Viking lead for Clem, and the fact that, well, actually, hang on, he takes kind of a bad fight right there, loses 1 Viking more or less for free. Oh, but the interference matrix.
It's a pretty good one. HeRoMaRiNE, though, doing, I think, a very appropriate thing here and pulling the SCVs into this. He might just be able to break it with the help of the Marine Concave. The Vikings land from Clem, though, to try and take down the last couple of units. But then HeRoMaRiNEs can also land, which will barely lose the battle yet still. HeRoMaRiNE loses 20 SCVs in that defense. That was actually exactly what Clem needed. He's going to catch up on the upgrades, the combat shields. Clem even takes down another tank. I mean, this is a topsy-turvy TvT, one that is now, I guess, favorable for Clem as he takes the SCV advantage.
Yeah, that got really weird really quickly there. It was a very kind of awkward fight. I think you're right that he was right to pull the SCVs into it, but I think... Oh, man, I think that was just maybe almost an inevitability. I don't like that he landed those 2 Vikings at the very end, because he kind of just lost them for free. Like, he took down a tank that was almost dead already, but then he lost both Vikings and ended up losing his own tank. So
right.
He could have come out with 2 Vikings in a tank versus 2 Vikings in a tank. Instead, he came out with... Well, I guess Clem sacrificed his own Vikings to kill the tank, so it's kind of a null point, but... Yeah, I don't know, just kind of a funny little, like, ending to that fight.
No, I definitely get what you're saying. I think that is absolutely one of those maneuvers that your brain's kind of like, go fast, gotta go fast. You land it, and as you're landing, you're like, oh, whoops, no, I probably shouldn't have done that. Those Vikings are healthier than mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, though. It happens. Overall, though, we found ourselves in another position where in TvT, everything is redeemable. Like, a HeRoMaRinE can make up for a 6 worker deficit, especially because it's such a high worker count for both of them anyways. The upgrades have been even up. Actually, Clem is behind on upgrades. His army wasn't as fast, so HeRoMaRiNE's still managing to find a bit of better macro, which even though Clem's really done great things for his macro in the last couple of years, feels like HeRoMaRiNE sometimes just a little bit better. This Doom drop is way faster than Clem's little puny 1 medevac drop. Oh, Clem's gonna have a lot of trouble cleaning this.
Oh god, and he gets right into the minerals too, so the SCV pull is completely ineffective. 8-9 SCVs already going down. We're probably going to see the armory get taken out. Oh, nice hot pickup from Clem. Saves that 1 tank before it gets obliterated. But this is going to be so expensive to clean up.
Actually, I think this is a game-ending move. Clem's going to take way too much damage. Upgrade's going to be delayed. Army was taken down. SCVs are taken down. Production's going to be taken down. And he found no success with his single medevac drop. If he had killed 20 SCVs as well, I mean, there's a maybe. But even then, it would have been tough. HeRoMaRinE takes game 1. Not very clear-cut. Not at all. There's opportunities for both players, but that Doom drop was the nail in the coffin. There wasn't a coffin. Suddenly there was a coffin and a nail in it.
Yeah, he built that whole coffin right around HeRoMaRinE, and he used those mineral patches as the foundation, and Clem just could not contend. I gotta say, I feel like HeRoMaRinE is one of the best players at like dropping into those really awkward corners that it feels like his Marines get like +5 damage the way he drops them into main bases when he Doom drops. It's cool to see, but it's also like, it's got to be so aggravating to go against because you're like, okay, I have like 10 more army supply. I'm going to crush this in the main base. And then you like go and deal with his double drop that he sent at your third base. Then you look back at the main base and you've lost like 60 supply and he's lost 20. And all of a sudden all your production's dead. And you're just left like scratching your head. You're like, huh. So I didn't have enough to clean that up after all.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's tricky, man. Well, now I move on to Oxide, where I actually think we're going to see at least one of these players do something a bit more aggressive than the, well, I can't say a bit more aggressive. The many Reapers that HeRoMaRinE did was obviously aggressive. Started him off on the right tone anyways. But I'm talking like a medevac drop type of aggressive. Oxide remains the most popular map for any type of early medevac push or drop. It's really fallen out of style, but if you're going to see it, it's going to be on this map.
So you think we'll see like 4 Marines in a tank, or
yeah.
like
yeah? It does seem like Clem still likes that build. He also still likes his Marauder Hellion build, which hasn't worked since, I don't know, 2019. That might be a bit exaggerating, but we could see it. I think Clem does like to be in control in a TvT, and that particular game never really felt like he could be. So either he does that, or maybe even tries to open with a similar Reaper count to HeRoMaRinE. Can't really call it, because as any matchup or mirror matchup especially goes, we do have to expect a large variety of builds. They can't just do one thing or be known for one thing. Top right is Clem, by the way.
True. And in the bottom left, it's HeRoMaRinE in the red. When's the last time you've seen a proxy Rax in this matchup, and why was it Spirit?
He didn't actually he is TvT versus Beyond. He didn't do any proxy Raxes. Nor did he do it versus HeRoMaRinE, I think, today either. I think I cast both of those. Yeah. He got bopped by HeRoMaRinE, if I recall correctly, though. Ooh. After he kind of bopped Beyond a little bit.
Was that was Beyond playing in the in the E bracket?
Yeah, he was playing today. Him and Zest both did the Korean qualifier for ASUS, and then they did the Open Cup today.
That's pretty awesome. How far did Beyond get then? Like round of 16?
I think so. I think it was the round of 16.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because I said he was just shy of getting money. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually so sad.
Yeah, I was doing some like quick time zone math in my head to determine how crazy their schedule is going to be if their plan is to play in the European qualifiers as well. Because the Korean qualifier ends tomorrow, and then the European qualifier begins tomorrow, and if they play in the North American qualifier as well, basically what I determined is that a lot of Korean players might just literally turn their sleep schedule around, sleeping from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then playing out their games.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's. Oh, sorry, go on.
I just am a bit surprised, actually. I know they like playing in tournaments, but I would kind of default assume that a lot of Korean players have gotten a bit tired of the whole qualifier, but nope, they're still doing it.
I mean, this is a pretty important one. It's a fair number of ESL points or EPT points, and like, it's one of those situations you really want to set yourself up for success. Speaking of setting themselves up for success, we do have another double Marine or double Reaper build coming out of one of the Terran players. This time it's Clem.
Yeah.
Going to be going for that Reactor Reaper.
I'm going to say I'm half smart, okay? This was one of the two options that I presented before backtracking and being like, well, I didn't think it happened, really. You never know. I did mention that he might do the same thing, try and get some revenge, because it really does put you in the driver's seat. Like, they have to respect this if they do figure it out, and it's perhaps even likely that they won't figure it out. It's quite hard to see what's actually coming out of the barracks, if it even has a reactor, much less that there's two Reapers coming out of it. So I do think it's not as good on Oxide, though, which is what kind of makes this funny. And HeRoMaRinE isn't going to make the same kind of build order mistake, I guess. So not really a mistake, just unfortunate circumstances that Clem had, where he ran into the Reapers and Hellions, right? HeRoMaRinE's back at home with a Cyclone already, using a ramp to safeguard him. He is going for the medevac drop, so I kind of am 2 for 2. But I like HeRoMaRinE's position better.
Yes, unless he does something very un-HeRoMaRinE-like, which is to say move out of a good position for the sake of a bad one. I really, really like HeRoMaRinE's position. Oh, and a very quick reaction time, pulls those units, immediately will not get Reaper grenaded. He might lose this Cyclone, but, oh, the Marines coming in, kind of cutting off the retreat a little bit for Clem. And let's take a look at what was lost there. 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions for a Cyclone and a Marine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this if I'm HeRoMaRinE, that's for sure.
I think the real potential is in this counterattack, too. He's going to be able to go across the map, where Clem has just invested most of his production into units that either died or are getting way less useful as time goes on. I do think that HeRoMaRinE would have really wanted that second Cyclone to live, though. Imagine if 2 Cyclones are coming across the map right now. They also would have made sure that more units would have died before they could have retreated. So that was, I think, the best situation for Clem, was to get some units out alive. Oh, and this lock-on as well is absolutely the best situation. It won't kill the medevac, but it basically nullifies it. Like, you don't want to go in with that weak of a medevac, and now Clem's back on the driver's seat. He knows the medevac's going to have a risky decision to make, and he's pretty much betting that it won't go and attack him. He's going to go attack HeRoMaRinE.
So now this is where you pull the double bluff as HeRoMaRinE, knowing that Clem is so aggressive, and you just say, oh, he's definitely going to counterattack me, and then you go back in. And if that had been the case, that would have been such a good situation for HeRoMaRinE, but that's Clem knowing HeRoMaRinE, knowing that he is going to play conservatively. Oh, the auto turret's going to get dropped. There was enough for an interference matrix. I would have much preferred to have seen that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think that was a situation where an auto turret wasn't the default assumption to be better. Plus, the auto turret wasn't close enough to actually attack the tank. So that's just a simple, straight up mistake right there.
I feel like this isn't that valuable of the position. Okay, he will adjust that tank forward. Going to be able to take out... Will he reach the react? Oh, he actually reaches this tank. That's a mistake from HeRoMaRinE. Yeah, HeRoMaRinE getting a little too ballsy, but he might be able to grab a... Oh, no, just kidding. Thought he was going to grab a Raven in return, but the tank took out the Cyclone. Now HeRoMaRinE starting to miss micro, or... Oh, he thought he could take out the tank in time. He almost did, but it was a tank for tank trade. Yeah, which... I guess that's even, because Clem still has 1 tank there, but it's not in a nasty position. I think that's still an overall win for Clem. Specifically because he kept the Ravens alive. If he had lost one of those Ravens there, which he almost did, then I would have liked that for HeRoMaRinE quite a bit. That being said, what's the timing on Clem's 3rd command center?
It's done. It's on location.
Already landed, yeah. So I love this situation for Clem, I think.
It's really close. Clem does have the economy a bit better because his orbital's finishing, whereas HeRoMaRinE's only planting his command center. So it's, 2 SCVs, bit of a faster mule type of thing. but it's so close. At the end of the day, all of those scuffles, it was so close. Worker count's pretty much even. Army supply, only an 8 worker difference. Raven count similar. Tank count a bit favorable for Clem, but HeRoMaRiNE's going to have defense advantage. Yeah, third tank literally just popped as I was speaking. Viking count is favorable for Clem, and he already takes the fight. Oh, but the Raven goes a little too far forward. These guys are so evenly matched. Jeez Louise.
They really are. HeRoMaRiNE really is a masterclass player in this matchup, and the tank's actually taking down one of Clem's tanks. But then the return kill, God, everything is a trade. Nothing is for free. That being said, Stim does complete a little bit faster for Clem, but he doesn't have... Oh, well, now he has even less Marines. And we are going to see, the one tank of Clem getting the winning shot. But the auto turrets plus even the unstimmed, uncombat shielded Marines, enough to do this here, and Clem will get shoved back. And now HeRoMaRiNE, his upgrades are so much faster.
Yeah, Clem actually, I mean, choosing to push them off for a little bit is now significantly behind. He might be able to catch up if he's like really on point with his 2-2, but that's actually been a problem I found more consistent in Clem's play than HeRoMaRiNE's play is late upgrades. Not just because of build order choices, straight up just a bit of mistakes. But we'll see. Clem still has a bit of an army supply advantage. He might have been pushed back there, but he still wants to try and make something happen. It just seems like HeRoMaRiNE's actually got the better. Auto turret comes down much faster, so the auto turret from Clem is completely useless. His tanks are completely useless. Not a fantastic fight as he gets evened up on the army supply. He was ahead, now it's even.
Yeah, and now this 1-1 kicks in for HeRoMaRiNE. The one advantage that Clem will have for a while is actually that he has combat shields quite a bit quicker. So if it's Marine versus Marine, it won't actually be that bad for Clem.
Yeah,
funnily enough.
Yeah, the combat shield is better than 1-1, helping you take that extra shot from the tank. And Marine battles even, I assume, would go better. Double medevac drop, though, skirts the very edge of the map so that HeRoMaRiNE's center tower doesn't see it from the get-go. It looks like he might just, coincidentally, have enough units, and that's unfortunate for Clem. Oh, and he's gonna get chased down. Oh, no. Oh, his boost. Boost. No, boost. There. Okay, good. I thought he was gonna unload.
He just barely cuts across. Oh, my God. Oh, that's a one that hurts the old thumper. You know what I'm saying? That's a heart attack inducing scene for those Marines and tank. Now, HeRoMaRiNE's he's just ahead right now. He's just like quite ahead. What do you do as Clem? Fourth base is later. Upgrades are later. HeRoMaRiNE is starting to feel kind of like Clem's kryptonite in this matchup a little bit, and I don't know.
It is so weird because the dream hack, it looked like it wasn't the case at all, but I feel like HeRoMaRiNE was a little demoralized from his loss in the upper bracket. This is more what we even come to expect from the matchup, which is that HeRoMaRiNE is once again taking control. He's winning out a bit more, or when he does win, it's a bit more convincingly. Clem right now basically has to just hope to get the maxed. He's not in such a bad spot that he can't win this game. But HeRoMaRiNE is going to be much faster pacing-wise, so the faster fourth command center, the faster upgrades, but then also the faster starports. The one trick of this is that HeRoMaRiNE might be investing into starport units, which will inevitably give him a better army, but a slower army. And if Clem is able to identify this, he might really try and push his multitasking even more and outspread HeRoMaRiNE, basically. Say, I have many more Marines. You have Vikings, great, but I have 2 times the amount of Marines. And he could win from that. But that's where HeRoMaRiNE having sensor towers and planetaries and a good tank count will kind of cover his butt as he transitions.
Yeah, and it's important to note that on Oxide, it's not like you can just be like, oh, okay, you're taking a slow composition. I'm going to expand, to 3 bases at once. Like, there's only 6 bases aside on Oxide.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
God.
Oh, no. Oh, God, that's 5 tanks for free and 2 Vikings as well. He's even going to get a couple of extra tanks. Oh,
that's game.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that game?
Yeah.
And I think it is.
Clem's got a quadruple drop, but it's pure Marine, which, I mean, it is speed. It's going to kill things really fast, but it's also going to be stopped by a couple of tanks pretty quickly, too. Clem does have 1 tank sieging up in the natural, but 1 tank is hardly intimidating. And, forget the 1 tank. Interference Matrix gets in here. This is all with the upgrade lead, by the way. So these Marines with medevacs and upgrade. Oh, yeah, Clem doesn't stand a chance. Good lord. GG.
Oh my god. And HeRoMaRinE just has the perfect answer to his opponent and absolutely crushes him.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Clem. I actually think Clem's plan was pretty good. He was going to siege up his tanks on the planetary, distract HeRoMaRinE, and then do a quadruple marine drop, which that was almost guaranteed to do like a decent amount of damage as long as it didn't run into like 6 missile turrets. And even if it had done an okay damage, but not great, he is willing to sacrifice a decent number of Marines because he can afford to rebuild them. But then he just lost all his tanks, and it just was like moot point. Whatever else was going to happen in that game was just super unimportant once you lose those tanks. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I didn't see how many tanks he had, but it couldn't have been more than like 8 or 9, and he lost 6 of them right there. Like, that is such a huge amount to lose. Oh man, it just feels like we're maybe seeing a little bit of, like, I don't know, I guess, have you heard of like drummers that are really fast versus drummers that are like incredibly efficient?
I have not.
I don't know. I'm trying to reach for a metaphor here, but it feels like we're seeing someone who's just got like such immaculate control, and like this someone who is just so fast, and he can't get out of his own way at this point. It feels like in this matchup between these two.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a treat, even if sometimes the score looks one-sided. I feel like every game has super interesting moments, and that has been the case so far. HeRoMaRinE just manages to kind of come out just a little bit ahead and then kind of runs away with the game when it comes to the mid-game. Basically, if Clem's not in total control, he can't keep up, which is just absurd to say because basically keeping up and exceeding his opponents is what he does best in the other matchups, TvP and TvZ, super fast. But something about TvT and the pacing of it, the transitional periods, the engagements, like it remains, I think, still one of the more difficult parts for Clem, even though it's no longer his absolute worst matchup. I think a year and a half ago it was like, ooh, geez. But now I think it's good. It's just that HeRoMaRinE has always been so solid.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations of iron sharpening iron, right? Like, there's so many different styles in TvT that don't necessarily hard counter one another, but can kind of counter one another. And you see it a lot in Korean TvT. TY is obviously the best at everything because it's, he's so good strategically. But I think HeRoMaRinE has gotten really, really good at dealing with Clem style. Now, speaking of Clem style, we have a double barracks with would you call this a Macarax? Not really, because it's not in the natural, but...
Yeah, no, I think I would just call it a proxy racks.
Yeah,
it is always
enough,
interesting when it comes with a barracks at home too, but deception. This could have easily for Clem been in the back of his base on Romana's side, and either way HeRoMaRinE just kind of shrugs and is like, I don't know what's happening. So it still sucks for him. But this one Reaper gets there a little bit faster, starts the snowball. That's exactly where Clem thrives. HeRoMaRinE is going to have to micro this first Reaper, which I'm sure he's paying attention to. They know how important it is. And he's got to buy time until a Hellion, and even then it's going to be sketchy.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really tricky. If he gets caught out at all, this could be lights out for him. And he did go for a very quick reactor here.
Oh,
so,
no.
oh man, speaking of getting caught out, this is kind of it.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in from the left side actually gave him the worst opportunity to run back home. Reaper is severely injured, is targetable by the Reapers of Clem, which first deny the factory. HeRoMaRinE is already taking enough damage for this to be warranted. But it's now a question of does he take so much damage he dies?
Yeah, and I feel like the answer is probably yes. This is so much already. 4 SCVs going down. Oh, he does get forced to the low ground, and that Hellion will pop out. Oh my god, that SCV just...
No!
Oh man, that's so much damage.
Tearing buildings! So dumb. It's done, man. It's basically done. Oh, this is still so much damage. Oh my god, the grenades are brutal. Good focus fire on the Marines. The one Hellion can't do it, and that is game. Oh, there you go.
All right. I mean, if you can't beat him strategically, just kill him, hit him in the face. Hit him in the face as he tries to get out of bed, right? Like, he just... That was quick and brutal.
Yeah. It's like I was watching A Knight's Tale yesterday, so this is really fresh in my mind. But he's like, "How would you beat him?" And the guy responds with a stick in his bed, but on a horse. That guy is unbeatable. And it's like, how do you beat HeRoMaRinE? With a 2-rax in his face, but given a macro TvT, he's unbeatable.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. A Knight's Tale is such a great movie, by the way. Like, honestly, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it so much. It's so fun. And oh, sorry, go on.
It's one of those movies that just is so watchable, right? If it's on, you watch it.
Yeah. And that's what I was just going to say. I was like, it actually stood the test of time. Like, I tried to rewatch How I Met Your Mother recently. Oh boy, that did not hold up well.
Yeah.
Like not only were the jokes like flat and like very of the time, there's like a few situations where I'm like, oh man, these are bad people. Like, if like my friends behaved this way, like I would never talk to them again. Like, like each of them does that per episode. It's crazy.
I mean, that is a bit of a sitcom problem. I've actually had some weirdly intense arguments with Fear Dragon about How I Met Your Mother, because he's, you know, he has like very fond feelings for it. Just like I have fond feelings for Friends, you know, it's my safety, cozy blanket, but it has a ton of problematic issues. But I don't have strong opinions about How I Met Your Mother because I didn't really watch it, but of what I watched, I was like, meh. But that is honestly a problem with sitcoms, isn't it? Like, in no world is it funny that Ross, what has he done that's just like so out of control stupid? Okay, well actually, you know what? A really good example, people always say that Joey is the only non-problematic character in that show, and I'm like, that's a complete lie. There's literally an example where he was turning up the temperature to get his roommate to undress. There we go, undress. Yeah, decloth. Undress. The shower curtain was removed when he was looking for roommates that were all teenage girls that were 18. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, Joey's the sketchy. Best character. Well, sitcom excuses.
Yeah, we let a lot slide for the sake of laughter. One of the most disturbing things you can ever watch, by the way, is like stuff with the laugh track removed.
I know,
like,
yeah.
That is there's another one where it's like you get to see Ross and you're getting his inner monologue, and then they take the inner monologue away, and it's just his expressions, and he's just making the creepiest faces at this poor woman, and she's like responding to it like so positively, and you're like, wow, that's not how that would happen. That I think the police would be called, like, she'd be right.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's there's a lot of examples, honestly, in Friends, and a lot of sitcoms. But we got ourselves another 2-rax, so we do have to talk about this potential. It's not going to have that one Proxy Reaper, which really did add that little bit extra to have the Reaper of HeRoMaRinE just low enough that he couldn't micro whiff it, so on and so forth. This is a bit different. It's a shorter map, true, by a decent number of seconds, but it's still not a proxy. And in this case, HeRoMaRinE's also gone for his own Reapers. So it really should not work for Clem. And in fact, I feel like HeRoMaRinE is hoping that Clem 2-raxes him. He's going to bop the 2-rax, return the favor by going across the map, and Clem could also be in trouble, depending on the micro goes.
Well, it ends up with a kind of a... You know what? Actually, Clem could read this as just a normal, you're still building Reapers. He might think that there's only going to be one more Reaper, one more Hellion on the map, when there's actually going to be 2 more Reapers and 1 more Hellion. So this could actually get very, very awkward for Clem.
Yeah.
Depending on how he just read that.
Exactly. Honestly, I think that HeRoMaRinE's hoping... I mean, it's also just a good... Any of these builds are good on such a short map, so there's also that, but... I mean, it's not that surprising if HeRoMaRinE is like, oh, I think Clem's not very confident in TvT after I beat him 2 times. He's going to try and kind of cheese me out of this series. Would not be a bad read whatsoever. Hellion should be winning this fight. Clem is going to try and win it with the grenades, but you can only do so much. He at least trades, right? Could be a lot worse. And he is continuing to build up Reapers back at home. If he had ever stopped, that's where things get really dangerous. But he's not going to stop. He'll have the defense. What he won't have are good units as we head into the mid-game. He won't have Cyclones. He won't have Marines. And that's something that HeRoMaRinE's already getting to.
Yeah, he just lost 4 Reapers for 1 Hellion during that trade. Oh man, he needed... Oh, that's a nice Hellion shot. And with the SCV pull, he's actually going to have enough to hold on here. I thought that was going to be extremely bad for Clem, but he only loses one SCV and actually kind of cleans up HeRoMaRiNE's army there. Damn, nice defense from Clem after I thought he was going to be in a lot of trouble. Still, like you said, it is better units for Clem, or for HeRoMaRiNE, I should say. And he loses one of those Hellions, case in point right there, for basically free. Oh, lock on. Oh, he gets the lock on.
Nicely done. One less Reaper to worry about. That's going to backstab him later on, right? I do think it really is important to note how long Clem was on bad units, though. I mean, bad units is definitely relative. In this case, I think they were necessary to hold. If he had transferred over into Marines and a tech lab instead of 4 additional Reapers, that could have been where the trouble was had. But at the end of the day, he defends the early game Reaper Hellion shenanigans by building significantly more Reapers, 3 plus, so 5 more Reapers than his opponent. And of course, he loses 9 of them as well. So that seems a little concerning. I guess the Cyclone is also a unit that is going to get its power lost in due time. Tanks are going to trump, everything. But the Cyclone can be maybe a bit of a bully on the map, more so than Clem can feel like a bully.
Yeah. I mean, that tank is really nicely placed, and that's going to prevent this from being too problematic. But I do think you're right. I think there's big opportunities for HeRoMaRiNE to be a big nuisance with this. That's a really well-placed tank. That almost covers the entire third base and natural. That covers so much ground. Damn. But will it even matter if HeRoMaRiNE just sets up on the left side of that third base?
Right, exactly. Clem could actually lose his CC if HeRoMaRiNE had gone there immediately. Oh, the timing of the unsiege is a little bit awkward. Interference Matrix come in. The tank on the backside, not quite in range, and this could actually be game. Clem had his units trapped. They couldn't evacuate up the ramp in time. Now his third CC will be canceled. That is game-ending damage.
It's at 99% completion, and it's going to have to be canceled, like you said. Oh, God, that is devastating, yeah. I think game-ending damage is a very appropriate way of calling it. It's TvT, anything can happen, but we've already got HeRoMaRiNE in such a better position than his opponent. I don't know how you get out of this.
Triple Raven is good. So I think you'd have to just hope that mass auto turret really messes with the push, kills the tanks really quickly, messes with the threat levels as well. So the tanks all fire on the auto turrets, that's more important, that type of thing. But now the Vikings come in and HeRoMaRiNE just continues to be the biggest bully on the playground. He actually is going to let go for a second, but I don't even know if he has to. Oh, he's just gonna go after more. Oh, he sees the third CC. He's gonna be able to cancel it again. Oh my god.
Oh no, no, leave him alone. Oh, give him back his lunch money, HeRoMaRiNE.
Yeah, seriously.
He's just a young kid. A 4th Raven being produced. A 5th Raven coming out for Clem, actually. Oh my god, he's just gonna go mass auto turret. And it is not going to work because HeRoMaRiNE's going to drop his own auto turrets. The tanks will siege for Clem, but they're out of range of HeRoMaRiNE's tanks. And that's it. She is called. Wow. HeRoMaRiNE. God damn, you were way too good at this game.
Yeah. 3-1 in Clem. Some of those looking awfully one-sided. I mean, Clem got a bit of a momentum breaker, but I still think that it comes down.